You're listening to RTL SA.
Lorraine, Bad Manners. Such a weird song. Isn't this one of the songs you requested, Bob? I'm pretty sure it is.
I'd like to introduce the listeners to music they probably haven't heard before, but I feel that they would enjoy.
Oh my goodness. So you just get straight into it. Let's just not mess around now, eh?
No, you know, I'm not known for being shy. Can I say cheers?
Cheers to you too. I enjoy your backdrop over there. You had to just show us the liquor cabinet, right?
Well, obviously, you know, I didn't want them to feel left out.
No, nobody's feeling left out. I just want to give you a little bit more volume here, Bob. There we go.
Okay.
I said everybody can hear you. So what's happening, Bob? How are you doing?
Yeah, another boring Monday at work, but it's nice to come home, put on some banging tunes, and open up a bottle of at least 12-year-old Scotch. Obviously, none of your peasant Johnny Walker Red Label here.
How's my girlfriend?
Alexa, oh, she's missing you so much.
I'm sure she is. Just for you that didn't know what we're talking about there, Alexa is a AIPA. Is that what we should call her?
Yes, hang on. She started talking now because she heard the name. Alexa. Sorry about that. You know what these women are like.
Alexa, volume 10. I love Alexa, and every time I come visit you, I have a lot of fun with Alexa. I let you go to bed, and I just take over Alexa. So, Bob,
I'm not going to say what else you get up to when I go to bed.
Let's not talk about house keys and car keys and stuff like that. That's a story best left untold. Although I'm sure there's someone on YouTube right now that's going to be telling that story on our behalf. So, Bob, you the legend, self-proclaimed, and also, I suppose, to a large degree, proven, would you say?
Okay, number one, not self-proclaimed. It was a name I was given many, many years ago.
Tell us where it came from.
Okay, this is nighttime radio, so I suppose one can be a little bit adult-like, shall we say. I was challenged when I was an apprentice. Now, that was quite a while back. I started my apprenticeship when I was 15, so...
Was it about 125 years ago?
Something like that. You know, you were there. Within my apprenticeship, one night I got involved in a drinking competition with Scotsmen. Now, this normally is very, very silly because we have to have great respect for our friends north of Hadrian's Wall because they generally can drink like fish. But
I couldn't imagine that would end well.
A young 18-year-old man from Northampton embarrassed them. And there I was known as a legend. And it's just followed me around the world.
And it's just stuck, eh?
There are other reasons and other versions, but I can't, honestly, for the sake of my good reputation, I can't repeat them here this evening.
Don't worry, I'll get into it as the night goes on. Now, do you think that people are sometimes intimidated by you being referred to as the legend? Because it pretty much is something that sticks with you wherever you go. People refer to you as the legend. Do you think it intimidates people in the first time meeting or something like that?
I would certainly hope not, because I don't take it too seriously. I just treat it as a lot of fun. Some people actually get quite affronted by the fact that I use that phrase. Oh, you can't call yourself a legend. You're not Elvis Presley. I say, well, of course I'm not. Elvis Presley doesn't be with me.
And anyway, one legend's gone already. There's got to be another one in place.
Indeed, and I believe you're standing in the wings for when I go.
Yeah, no, I'm next in line. Bob, just tell us a little bit. I believe that you are going to be like making a little silver screen debut soon or something like that.
Yes, it's a film that's been an international film that's being shot locally called A Fish's Tale.
A Fish's Tale. Okay.
A mutual friend of ours was involved in the casting, and the one particular part was looking for. Let me just quote this:
an old Englishman,
a distinguished English gentleman with a posh accent. They couldn't find one anywhere, so I was the nearest they could find to that combination.
So you don't have to prep too much for that role, do you?
No. Just I just got to dye my hair a bit more grey, so that I look older.
Okay, so when are you guys going to be shooting this?
Well, we were supposed to be shooting at the start of this month, but of course, COVID put a spanner in the works there. So we are waiting to hear. They're doing more rehearsals next Wednesday, I believe. So if any of your listeners are looking to star in a locally shot film, they can contact you or I for more details.
That's right, yes. I did see the post regarding it. It's this coming Wednesday in Scottsboro, I think, that they're doing it. And they're looking they're looking for all ages, all sizes, preferably with some acting experience. But if not, it's not a train smash. But if you do want some more information, just drop myself a little message and I will send you that information on behalf of Cassandra. So, Bob, are you quite excited to do this? Is this something new for you, or have you done screen work before?
I've done a little bit of screen work, but most of my performance work, if you would like to call it that, has been done on the stage. Either at places like Westfield Theatre Club, the German Club, and other type venues. It's not just music shows that I get involved in. We have comedy shows. We do proper serious 2-hour life story shows. A little bit of everything. I'm not the best actor, I'm not the best singer or dancer, but I have the biggest set of balls and I'm not scared to go out there and give it my all. And when things go wrong, I'm the best ad-libber. I'm the guy that can quickly think on his feet and not get the show to the end. One of my favorite skills.
I want to speak specifically about your last stage performance that you did. And it involved a little bit of
an outfit, I wonder.
It involved a little bit of a dressing down session, didn't it?
Well, I will now say this in complete and total honesty and amazement. I do not know how you ladies wear stilettos. Especially when you had a couple. I was stone cold sober on a stage wearing, they weren't stilettos, they were high heels. When I say high, they were probably 2 inches. But on the first night on stage, whilst wearing a dress and a wig and a bit of makeup, not my normal get-up, I fell off these shoes and snapped one of the heels. So, ladies, I doff my cap to you. That you can do that in public and normally without killing yourselves. Well done. And it burnt my calves to crap. My calf muscles actually locked up. So, ladies, it made your legs look beautiful. Please don't stop doing it just because I can't.
No, I tell you what, I haven't met a woman that enjoys wearing stilettos either. They might enjoy the way they look in the stilettos, but I don't think they actually physically enjoy wearing them. So
let's raise another toast to the fairer sex for
yes, let's do that.
Going to pains to look good for us. We appreciate it. We really do.
And this is why you're the legend.
Just like that, even without rehearsing.
Exactly. Now, just talking about that performance, I believe one of the nights there was a little child in the audience that found you quite amusing in your attire.
Oh my God!
You haven't heard the story?
No, I didn't. Tell me to, please. It's not too embarrassing.
No, well, let's just put it this way. She was quite astounded with your outfit. And your outfit, if I've got it right, was fishnets and something like that. Like really, what song were you doing? It was something from Rocky Horror, wasn't it? Something like that?
I had stilettos, fishnet stockings, a blouse, a padded bra, and a skirt and a somewhat unflattering wig, clip-on earrings, and bright red.
You see, now I heard now that there was a little girl one of the evenings sitting at the table like right in front of you, and she was like quite taken aback by this attire that you were wearing on stage, something that she had probably never seen before. It must have been an uncomfortable conversation on the way home with the mom and dad.
Why did that lady that had a skirt on have a bulge in her skirt? Yes.
Exactly. That's sort of how I heard the story. All right, Bob, we're going to take a little music break, and when we come back, I want you to tell us all about being Claire Johnson's favorite and biggest bang she's ever had. Well, if anybody's got any comments or questions for Bob, please drop them in the comments section. Bob is on YouTube, so he will see them himself. If it's on Facebook, I'll relay.
Boy, she was a girl.
Table Levine on RTL is Skater Boy. And it might be one of the saddest songs ever written. If you think about it. But maybe it depends on which perspective you look from. Bob, are you still there? I totally forgot when I stepped away to remove you off the screen. So the whole time you've been on screen.
Oh man, but I was picking my nose and doing my makeup and everything, man.
I know. Sorry, I dropped the ball there a little bit. Right, Bob. Mango Grooves, yes, Claire Johnston, who I got to interview not too long ago, and we didn't speak about this because I didn't know about the story yet, but apparently she claims that you are the best bang she's ever had.
I had that at one point. I had that in writing. I'm sure the listeners would like a little bit more.
Please do tell us.
For many, many years, I've been doing fireworks show. I'm a qualified pyrotechnician. When I first came to South Africa in the 80s, I worked for a very distinguished gentleman by the name of Barry Hunt, whose great-grandfather formed a company called Wells Fireworks in the 1800s that initiated the fireworks at Disneyland in America. So it's a pedigree background of pyrotechnicians. I worked for Barry full-time for quite a few years, and then took on other professional ventures, but always sort of kept a finger in with the fireworks. And although I've done many massive fireworks shows for people like Eric Clapton, Ziggy Marley, Jean-Michel Jarre, the Durban Millennium,
wow,
my favorite show ever was one that I did for a up-and-coming singing star at the time called Claire Johnson and her very unusual group, because they weren't all white, and this was very much unheard of in the mid to late 80s. Nonetheless, they were doing a show at Ellis Park Stadium in Johannesburg, and they had a very, very...
I've just got to stop you there quickly, Bob. Just in case people are wondering, Ellis Park is the home of the best rugby team in the country. Carry on with your story.
No, it wasn't at Kings Park. It was Ellis Park.
Oh, goodness.
Continuing on with the story, they had a limited budget, and I met with them before the show. Now, at that time, I was a particularly lovesick fan of Claire Johnson's, although, of course, being a legend, one never shows this straight away.
Yeah, you keep it to yourself.
Of course. They said, we've only got this small budget, but we want to do something special. Do you know our music? I said, yeah, I've heard a couple of your songs, I suppose. They said, okay, any suggestions as to which song you think would be the most effective for a fireworks show? And I'm sure everyone is shouting together in the background that's listening now, Special Star.
Of course.
Naturally. So that was the song that was selected, and then we sat down and we rearranged the composition of the song a little bit to make it fit in with the fireworks show that I had planned. And at a certain point in the song, now bearing in mind that I was firing from outside the stadium and I was firing across and over and above the stadium. Fireworks show started at the designated point in time, and then the fireworks just stopped, and she started saying special. And as she started saying the word special, I lit one of the biggest shells that we had at the time, which was a 12-inch willow tree, 12 inches being 300 millimeters for the modern people amongst us. Now, this firework, as it started going up, she was saying special, special, and then when it burst, as it goes up, it leaves a trail like a trunk. Okay. Then when it burst, it spreads like a willow tree, hence the name willow tree. So as it went up, she was saying special. When it burst, she started singing the word star, and then it came down from about 1,500 feet, and the spread was wide enough to cover the whole of Ellis Park Stadium, and she only stopped saying the word star as the embers hit the grounds around the stadium. The crowd went, my sugar.
I can imagine.
It was a very proud moment in my life. We met afterwards at the cocktail party for all the performers, and I was lucky enough to be deemed a performer. And whilst at this cocktail party, I got talking to young Claire, and we were chatting away, and I was subtly confessing my undying love for her. I noticed a lot of people around us were wearing show jackets. And I said, well, how come? Look, I performed. Where's my jacket? I said, that's no problem. Which she did. And then I sort of, I lost my legendary status for just a moment.
Did you get the jacket?
Legend.
Did you get the jacket?
I got the jacket, but wait, there's more.
Then you lost but then you lost no legendary status. But there's more.
I then said to her, please, would you be kind enough to autograph it for me? Would you write something special on there? She said, certainly, Bob. And on this jacket, she wrote, to Bob, the best bag I've ever had. Of Claire Johnson, Man, Go Groove.
That's right, because initially they were called Man Go Groove. It wasn't Mango Groove.
Yep.
Okay, not a lot of people know that. Where's the jacket now?
Unfortunately, that was... My goodness. It was 40 years ago. It was a while back.
So you mean it doesn't fit you anymore?
It fits me perfectly. I've got the same svelte body that I've always had.
Ah, there we go. Nothing wrong with that self-confidence. Now, Bob, when I met Claire many years ago, many years ago, and I met her a couple of times over the years, but sitting down with her doing an interview about 2 years ago, she was 62 years old when I sat down with her, so that makes her about 64 now. How old do you think she was around about this time? Well, if you say it was 40 years ago...
It wasn't 40, I say my maths at this point in time was terrible. It was 1989, like 30 years ago.
About 30 years ago, so she was in her late 20s, somewhere around there.
Yes, so she was good enough to be my chick.
She's one of the most beautiful people I've ever met, and to sit down and just talk to her, she's such a forthcoming person. Was she like that back then?
Yes, and obviously she is so civilized and cultured because she was born in England, the same as I was.
Okay, well, okay. So would you say that was one of your highlights in your firework
Very much so. Look, I've done lots of shows that have gone down very well. My most embarrassing moment, and okay, the guy that I worked for, he passed away, and his son took over the business, and he has never heard this story because I now do shows for him, and he will no doubt brag me when he next meets me. I was doing a firework display for the Victoria show. Now, back in the olden days, we didn't have electronic firing boxes, so we fired firework shows manually. And we'd use a super powerful sparkler, is the best way to describe it, called a board fire. But you light this thing, and if you put it in water, it won't go out. So it's a super reliable lighting mechanism. But to light the board fire, you need a lighter or a match. So I'm in the middle of the stadium in Victoria for the show, stadiums, the field's been cleared, and okay, everybody go down, like, here, 3, 2, and my lighter won't work. So, I take out my spare lighter, that won't work either.
Oh my goodness.
I had to walk from the middle of the arena to the audience. Because
of course back then
a lighter from an audience member to start this fireworks show. That was so embarrassing.
so of course back then, nowadays they're all electronically fired up. They're not fired up with a lighter anymore, eh?
Yes, I mean, the days that I smoked cigarettes, so I wouldn't. From there on, I would always have a lit cigarette in my mouth just before the show to make sure I had a backup.
Oh goodness. Now we're going to talk in a little bit. I'm just going to play us a little Mango Groove number while we're at it. But in a little bit we're going to talk a bit about your trip to Zimbabwe to do fireworks and your experience. You were telling me around the fire one night about your little bush meal. You recall that story? We'll talk about it after this.
Fantastic.
Right, here we go. As he said, it is Special Star and it's Mango Groove for you on RTLSA. Having a jaw with Bob tonight. And we've got some comments coming through. Let's see. Warren wanting to know whether you were wearing a G-string on stage. Oh, goodness. And then he's also saying that Alexa is his. Yes, Warren, you and I are going to have a discussion about that. And then we're talking, Lorraine saying, Claire Johnson, stage personality, being Scottish, she's amazing. Wow. Is Claire Johnson Scottish?
She's not.
Nope, I don't think
she's
she is.
from Hertfordshire.
Right, here we go. It's Mango Groove and Special Star for you on RTLSA. Right, Bob, apparently, according to Lorraine and Daniel's son, Claire Johnson was born in the south of England.
Correct, Hertfordshire.
Hertfordshire. There we go.
Is in the south of England.
South of England, yeah, but not Scotland.
Yes.
Okay,
Not Scotland.
Cool. Not Scotland. Now, Bob, did you catch your show this afternoon?
Yes, I did.
What did you think of
Did you catch my comment on your burning topic?
I did indeed. Of course I did. I thought I actually said a lot about your comments, and I actually thought it was quite pertinent that you would, really bring it down to earth and make it, relatable. What's good for one is good for the other as well, so to say.
Indeed, and look, I'm not advocating the pulling down of any statues, whether they be statues of Winston Churchill, Mahatma Gandhi, or Shaka Zulu. All of these people, even in this country, all of these people formed a part of our history. And by damaging a statue, pulling it down or whatever, it's not going to change history. And all of those people have done bad things. All of the three of the ones that I've mentioned, but they've all done good things too. So rather than deny history, learn from it, good or bad.
100%. And I really enjoyed that part of the comments as well. And there were a few people that sort of spoke about that. Mark Scarter also mentioned it as well, about learning from your past instead of running away from it. Did you catch the interview, obviously, with Gavin Sharples as well?
Yes, I did, yes. He's also... He's very passionate about his cause, which is awesome. I enjoy that, someone being that passionate about it. I do have some issues with it, but I don't think this is the time and the place to air them.
Okay, we'll discuss it over a scotch and around the fire one night. But I wanted to introduce you to someone tonight, and he's my guest this coming Wednesday on the show. Okay. And he's a young guy, and I know that you love music absolutely, particularly music that has or that's created from a raw source. Can you think of artists from the past, back in your era, that sort of relate to someone like a Jeremy Loops, or someone that creates everything off one pedal or something like that?
Where you've got people looping their music. I can think of current groups that do it. Back in the past, my sort of big thing was or groups that could sing a cappella. A cappella, for those that aren't musically educated, is without instruments. And that is so very, very difficult. As an example, when you start to sing, if you don't have a musical instrument to reference the note that you must open your song with, unless you're very talented, it is super hard to hit the right note. So I do enjoy a cappella music. I enjoy a solo artist, someone like Mike Tompkinson, is it, on YouTube, who does remakes of popular hits just using his own voice. Walk of the Earth also use very unusual instruments and bedpost and zowie whistles to make their songs, but they also sound excellent. So whilst I like lots of genres of music, I do enjoy the creative element that the new people can bring in.
Okay, well, I want to introduce you to someone who's going to be my guest this coming Wednesday. And his name is Brian Fitzgerald, but everybody refers to him by his stage name, Brian Fitzy. And I'm going to show you a little video now. I know we're battling a little bit for you to get sound back from what I'm playing. Are you hearing the music I'm playing or not?
Not at all. I can only hear you.
Okay. I think have you got
turn YouTube up because then we'll get feedback.
Okay, well, what we can do, I'm gonna mute you so that you can turn YouTube up a little bit. But I'm gonna play you little snippets from Brian Fitzy, who is my guest this coming Wednesday. He's a young guy from Philadelphia in the United States, and what an incredible talent. And I know that you've got such a strong music knowledge, and you've got such a good understanding for music in its entirety. And I'd love to hear what you think about Brian Fitzy. And like I said, he is my guest this coming Wednesday. I had to convince him to be up at 7 a.m. in the morning so that he was in time for our show. But I mean, that's just what time zones do. But here we go. This is one of his own songs.
In Africa, we're drinking beer at 7 in the morning. Tell him to not be a wussy.
That's what I thought as well, especially because he's got a gig the night before. So I said to him, don't worry, don't stop, just keep going. But anyway, this is Brian Fitzy, and he's a loop specialist. He's actually a violinist by trade, but he's a loop specialist and works with guitar, and his loop pedal and everything is absolutely incredible. And I'm glad to share it with everybody tonight ahead of the interview on Wednesday. He's such a nice guy as well to talk to, and I'm pretty sure that you're all going to enjoy it. So without further ado, Bob, are you ready?
I'm ready. Bring it on.
All right, here we go. It's Brian Fitzy for the first time on RTL SA with some video as well.
Cool.
Yeah. You keep telling me what you gonna do for us. You keep telling me, yeah, what you gonna do for us. But when it comes time to act on your words, your lips are hushed. 'Cause I can't be, no, I can't be your crutch. You make these promises you have yet to follow through. Let's not tell you so, no, 'cause you made more than just a few. When it comes time to act on your words, tell me, baby, where are you? 'Cause I can't be your crutch. train's a runaway, and it's running off the tracks. Oh, this train's a runaway, and there's no looking back. We will see this out together. No, no, you can be sure about that. 'Cause I can't be, no, I can't be your crush. Let me talk to you. Might help if I turned it on, right? Alright, let's pull this up here. Crutch.
That's Brian Fitzy on RTLSA, first time heard on the show, and he is my guest on the show this coming Wednesday, and what a prolific talent he is. I mean, just when he picks up that electric violin and plays it, and it sounds like an electric guitar, and then his vocal looping at the end as well, I think is absolutely out of this world. Bob Thorne, your thoughts, good sir? You need to unmute yourself. Yes. Press the unmute. There we go. There we go. Now we can hear you.
There we go. That's the mute button. As I was saying, whilst I was so rudely muting myself, I thought it was amazing. That's incredible talent. He's vocally on point. His timing is good. His instrument work is good. And his knowledge and use of technology add a certain modern edge to the sound. Yeah, as I've commented on YouTube, I would happily pay to go and watch one of his performances.
Now, what makes it so special is that he does everything. The beats, the bass beat with the snare sound, all is in with his mouth. He records it, he loops in the beginning, and then he loops the guitar piece, and then
they call it beatboxing, I believe. Try and keep up with the times.
No, that's not beatboxing. Ask Six Sarah about beatboxing. No, he's actually just recording. If you watch more of his videos, you'll see what I mean. He actually just records the bass.
Yeah, he's looping. I do.
Yeah.
I completely understand it, and kudos to him. Well done, lad.
Yeah, he's incredible for a youngster. And like I said, he's going to be my guest this coming Wednesday, and we're going to find out exactly how he does it and how he goes about it as well. And I seriously think we're going to see that young man's name in lights going forward. He just happened to come across my desk this week, and I thought, no, we've got to get him on for the show. So, Bob, let's talk about that little trip to Zimbabwe. And I remember one night you and I were sitting and having a couple of beers, and you told me about the story when you were on your way to do some fireworks in Zimbabwe. And what was it? Was it Rhodesia back then, or was it Rhodesia, or was it Zimbabwe already?
This was 1990. Comrade Bob had been in power for 10 years already, and the fireworks were to commemorate his first decade of power there. Because Wells Fireworks was a South African company, we weren't allowed to enter Zimbabwe through South Africa, and I had to pack my truck up with my fireworks equipment, drive to Zimbabwe, transfer it to another truck with not Zimbabwe, correction, drive to Swaziland, or Eswatini as it's now called, pick up a truck from there with the Swaziland number plate, and then come back into South Africa and go into Zimbabwe at Bait Bridge with a Swaziland vehicle.
Okay.
I was met at the border by the Swaziland security police, who were going to escort me from Bait Bridge to Harare because I was carrying Class C explosives. Now, they were going to send the BMW to escort me, but that had broken down due to a somewhat violent accident the week before. So I was escorted by two probably 1965 Peugeot 504s.
Nice.
These vehicles use more oil than they did petrol, so our progress was somewhat snail-like. I don't even remember the distance. I think it was about, if I remember correctly, it's about 650 kilometers from Bait Bridge to Harare. So after about 6 hours, we'd gone 300 Ks, and it was lunchtime, and my escorts were hungry. So we all stopped, vehicle in front of me, vehicle behind me, and myself in the middle, and I'm saying, why are we stopping? No, we're hungry, we need to eat. We stopped in the middle of absolutely nowhere. I said, okay, but I don't see a one-stop vacation station or a Wimpy anywhere nearby. But no, just follow us. So we walked, we got out of the vehicles, they left one guy behind, armed to the teeth to protect my precious cargo, and we turned left off the road into the bush.
Nice, on foot.
We probably just into the bush.
Yeah.
And the one guy, it wasn't quite a panga, but it was a healthily sized waist knife that he used to clear a path for us, and we foraged for about, it seemed like half an hour in reality. And we ended up at this village. And my host said, okay, we're going to eat here. Hey, cool. I'm not scared to try anything. Bring it on. We go to the butcher in the village. The butcher is a hut with a stainless steel table outside. And it says, raw and cooked are on the same table. Blood's intermingling nicely, getting a lovely cocktail of meat flavors here. My host said, what do you want? I said, well, obviously, we are men. Fillet steak. He said, cool. No problem. So he asked the butcher, please cut our guest some fillet steak. He took this beautiful, and it was beautiful prime fillet, grade A+++, and they cut it into 3 centimeter cubes. Okay. So you've now got this meat that is that fresh that it is probably still pulsing from having just been slaughtered. They then take this meat, and your man says, would I like it cooked, or will I cook it myself? No, I'd like it cooked the way that it is normally cooked here. Cool. They put the meat on a stick. like 8 or 9 of these cubes. There's a fire nearby. Now, the fire is the classic, I won't even say South African, the classic African half-oil barrel with a grill on top. The only difference here was that the grill was underneath probably 2.5 meters of flames. Flames were just sky high. No problem. The fire is somewhat hot, but they take the meat, probably 20 seconds tops. It was charcoal-like on the outside, pulsing with life in the center. And it was freaking delicious. I've never in my sheltered English life experienced having good steak prepared so viciously and tasting so good. So that was my introduction into Zimbabwean culture.
Did you stop in there on the way back as well?
Cuisine. No, because on the way back I had no fireworks, so I had no escort. It was okay. We're done with the
So now tell us about the show. You're at Bob Mugabe's 10-year or what is it, the decade celebration of him being in power. What was that show like? What was it nice? I could imagine that you were one of the very few fair-skinned people there.
Yes, very much so. It was quite an expensive show. Obviously, he didn't like the taxpayers' money on entertaining himself. The show was okay. My heart wasn't really in it. So but as a professional, even if your heart's not there, when you pay to do your job in the performing arts, whether it be fireworks or on the stage singing and playing an instrument, do your best for your audience. So it was okay.
Bob the legend, the ever professional. So tell us a bit about yourself. Sorry, Bob, I lost you there for a second.
The one time I wasn't quite so professional was when Eric Clapton, or Slowhand, as those that are musically knowledgeable realize is cool. When Slowhand was doing a concert in Swaziland, and he had fireworks, and him and I met after the show, and we shared some very special herbs that had been brought up from Durban, or of the very similar type that the locals had provided.
What do they call it? DP?
Yes, that was quite... so I'm here with this rock god. So, rock god and legend, same place. Can you imagine?
Okay. So what did he think of the DP?
He loved it. He rated it. He said, yes, this is amongst the best that I've had in lots of years. And trust me, he's probably experienced quite a few strains of this particular product from various locations.
I'm pretty sure, but Durban is famous for it.
Indeed. Oh, I believe.
All right. Tell us something about Bob that will shock the audience. On the spot question.
I've only got one function. Okay, I've got one function. One testicle. And this is why I can't walk straight. It's not because of the alcohol, it's a balance problem.
Okay, I lost all of that.
Give it to me. Okay, should we try again? How's the audio now?
That sounds much better.
Okay, I have one functioning eye and one testicle. So when I get drunk and start staggering, it's not because I'm drunk. It's because I can't see and I have a balance problem.
How do you explain that in a roadblock?
I get out of the car and they see me swaggering and say, oh my goodness, he must have had cancer. He's fine. Put him back.
Have you ever spoken yourself out of a roadblock using an excuse like that? Or something similar?
Let me think. No, unfortunately, I don't have breasts, so I've yet to be able to talk my way out of a roadblock.
I don't have breasts. Well, I suppose I do to a certain degree, but I've spoken myself out of a roadblock once or twice. And the secret, my secret... my secret was, and this is, I'm not condoning drinking and driving by no means, but my secret was, and what got me off that night was the fact that the guy in the seat next to me was drunker than I was. And I said to the cop, I said, would you rather have him driving? And the officer gave us a little chuckle and said, how far are you going? We said, not too far. And he said, okay, be on your way and behave.
Well,
Bob, it's been...
luckily nowadays we have these services where you can get driven home by somebody else, so we don't really need to get that drunk. And I'd rather have family and friends over, or go to their place and have a jewel there. And if I have too much, get a ride me home or pick a couch.
100%. Totally agree with you. Bob, it's been awesome having you on the show. What are your plans going forward? What are the plans for the future for Bob T?
Well, I'm involved at the moment with a company that manufactures packaging machinery, and I'm part of the sales team there, and it's going very, very well there. My second sale with that company bought the car that I can drive, and I very much like that car, and I'm happy I was able to do that as a result of my brilliant sales skills. Going forward, no, at this point in time, having been recently divorced, when I say recently, a couple of years ago, and having been with that same woman for 25 years, I really don't have any plans right now, because it's still a bit of a strange new world for me right now. So I'm just appreciating life and rolling with the punches for now.
And of course, after a divorce, if you get involved with Alexa, there's no going back there, is there really?
Oh, and any ladies that come near Alexa get very, very jealous for some reason.
Well, Bob, it's been great.
Thanks, Noel. Alexa gets more jealous, and she won't listen to when they talk, though. It's quite amusing.
My favorite part, and every time I'm there, I have to ask Alexa, she'll be my girlfriend, and she keeps on telling me, what does she say? She says, I like you as a friend, and that's it.
Yeah.
Bob, it's been great having you on the show. Thank you so much for being our guest on Monday Madness tonight. And thank you so much for all your contribution throughout the time with RTL SA as well, and your continued support of the station. And it's always good to have a beer with you and hear your stories, and just hear your voice on the show as well. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
No, my absolute pleasure. I'm very passionate about supporting local performers, so cheers to local performers.
Cheers to local legends.
And legends in training. Cheers.
Right, that's Bob Thorne for us, joining us on Monday Night Madness. And of course, next week, Monday, I'll have another special guest as well for you. And I will let you know during the week who it's going to be. At the moment, we are just tying them down, and everybody's standing in queues to be the guest. So don't forget to join us every Monday night for Monday Night Madness, and
Baby, when it comes to love,
just
should
chaos,
give me a
absolute chaos.
RTL SA.